You ready? Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is the Vitilan V3 2.0, and in this video we're going to unbox it, get it set up, give it for a test ride, and I'm going to give you my initial impressions. So let's get started. And I'm not going to cheat this time, I'm going to start a timer so you can see exactly how realistic it is to set this bike up nice and quickly. And I'm going to use all of the tools and stuff that's supplied in this box. I'm not going to cheat with my fancy tools. So let's start. 3, 2, 1, go. Here's some info about the Vitilan V3 2.0. Of course, it's classified as a fold-in fat tyre bike. That's because the tyres are 4 inches wide, chunky. We've fallen at the first hurdle. There was nothing in the packet to cut all the cable ties. It has a 48 volt battery with 13 amp hours. For anyone that's counting, that's 624 watt hours. It has hydraulic disc brakes, a Shimano 7-speed cassette, has an adjustable suspension fork with lockout. The quoted range is 48 to 73 kilometers. Of course, that depends how aggressive you are. And it has LED lights back and front. It has indicators, brake lights. This one has a 750 watt motor. And yes, you can tell that that's the power of it. Okay, I'm bored of watching that assembly stuff. Here, editor version of me, let's just skip to the good stuff. Maybe we'll come back to the assembly later on in the video. So what is it like riding this Vitilan V3 2.0 bike? I've racked up 54 kilometers. On the first charge we did a torture test and basically ran it full power most of the time, let the bike do most of the work, and surprisingly I got 45 kilometers out of it. You know, that's getting on for 25-30 miles, and that's probably a worst case scenario. I think if you ride it sensibly and you put some decent effort in, you're going to easily surpass 30 miles on a charge. That's good enough for most people considering an e-bike. Let me know what you think about that range in the comments, if it's sufficient for you or if you'd like to see better. Now, riding it here through our local town park, the big chunky fat tyres, they kind of do the job. I was a bit skeptical. I'm not really a fan of big chunky tyres. I'm more of a road bike skinny tyre type person, but they do the job on road, off road, and they've got a good shape to them. The shape is quite round, so cornering on it does feel quite natural. I have to be honest, it feels more like riding a moped, partially because of the weight. This is a heavy old bike, but that does give you a bit of security, especially when you crank up some speed. So at the moment, you might be able to see on the display, which the display is pretty good and it's big, but you have to have the angle exactly right. The viewing angle on it is not brilliant. You can see that I'm in 7th gear and we're doing 26 kilometers an hour. I think that's faster than the speed limits allowed in this park, so I should probably tone it down a little bit. We were in assist level 4, but mostly we're just coasting downhill at the moment. I hope you can hear me over all this wind noise. The world is not a racetrack. Let's do a little bit of gravel off-road then. So the fork on the front is good enough, it's quite firm, but in some ways you do want a good supportive firm shock on the front with a fork on the front when you've got this much mass. And it's a considerable bike, this, considerable weight. All of the controls are pretty easy and self-explanatory, very similar to a lot of the other bikes. This one has a horn, which most of the other ones don't have a horn. They normally have just a standard bell. The twist throttle here on the right hand side is only functional for a walking assist. And what else do we have? I've been particularly impressed with those Logan hydraulic disc brakes. I've never used Logan brakes before, so I was a bit skeptical of what they may be like, but they have got plenty of power. They're really nice and responsive, no air in the system, no bleeding necessary, and loads of power, which you need when you've got a heavy bike like this. The lights on it seem pretty good and reasonable. The gears did need indexing out of the box. The alignment wasn't perfect, but those things happen in transport, so you need to be prepared for that. This has folding pedals, and it works quite well. You pull that, and it's a metal lock-in pin that does the folding part, so it just helps with storage or transport. It is a bit of a hefty beast, but here's the folding mechanism. You push that bit up, pull that round, knee in the frame, and then you can release and pull the battery out, for example, and the battery sits up here in the frame. For charging, I have done one charge with it out of the frame, and then the most recent one, I did actually just pop it in there, so you can charge directly into the battery through the hole on the frame, which is quite helpful. Of course, this one is cadence sensor, so you kind of feel like you're cheating. This thing really has far too much power, and any hill, we've tested it on the steepest hills around today, and it just pulls straight up them, no problem at all. And you can cheat just by putting it in first gear and just let the thing do its job for you. What else do you need to know? Of course, for storage as well, it's got the folding handlebar. What don't I like about it? Well, these style grips are not my personal preference, but it is a preference thing. The style of the gear change is also not my favourite style. Really like the hydraulic disc brakes. I like that it's got a firm seat. I prefer firm seats to soft ones. There's not much to fault it for at this price. No idea what these Chow Yang tyres are, but they seem to do the job really well. They say they're hippo skin for being puncture proof, and of course you can lock out the fork if you're only doing road riding and you just want to lock out the fork to not waste any energy through the front fork. You have the option there. I think that sort of covers it. Well, here's one minus point. 15mm spanner is not big enough to do up the wheel nuts.
Let's have a look at the price now. Of course, this is liable to change, but right now on the Vitilan website, the suggested retail price is $999. They've got that reduced down on a sale at $899. There's also a coupon code at the moment to get £100 off, which brings the price of this down to $799. That brings it into a really competitive space. Other bikes at this price range, typically not with hydraulic disc brakes, typically not with a 48-volt motor. Fat bike, you do see some of the chunkier tyres, but it's very competitive. At the moment, they only seem to have the grey and the black bikes in stock, but of course that could change. And by the time you're watching this video, I recommend you follow the link in the description to go and have a look at the Vitilan website. Check out what deals they're doing. There'll be a coupon code in the description as well. Compared to the Hitway bike that I previously had, this is a notch up from that. It is definitely a more quality premium product, and it just has that bit more power as well, which may be what you're looking for.
Okay, that's 24 minutes, and that wasn't without its challenges. We haven't got a spanner big enough to tighten the front nut. We don't have an Allen key big enough to check the cranks for a tightness check. Otherwise, seems good enough. So the Vitilan V3 2.0, what do you think of it? Is a 48-volt fat bike the one for you? Let me know in the comments, what are the pros, what are the cons of this type of bike? What did you like about it? What don't you like about it? Should you buy one? Well, that's for you to decide. This is not my personal favourite kind of bike, but actually it has surprised me. It has been quite fun. It is a bit too much power for me, and I feel a bit too much like I'm cheating and I'm being a bit too lazy. but for some people that's exactly what you want, so this might be right up your street. As always, to support the channel, use the affiliate link below. That means we get a few pennies to support the channel and keep doing stuff like this, and there will be a discount code for you as well. I don't know how much Vitilan are going to give you off. I'm sure they'll be generous. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and you'll see the next video coming very shortly. Goodbye.